Okay, hey, welcome to another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. To have a really cool strap review for you from Uncle Straps. A little bit about him. Of course, he's a strap and bracelet maker, really made popular by the Seiko mod community, and now has even done a rebrand, previously known as Uncle Seiko, now known as Uncle Straps, because he does do things, make products also for non-Seikos. And although I'm using a Seiko here for this episode, comparing his 19 millimeter straps, or at least two of them, these can actually fit on anything, right? And they even come in other sizes, 19, 20, or 22. I chose the 19 because I recently acquired a Seiko SLA039, which has a 19 millimeter lug. This particular watch was actually inspired by the original Seiko 6159. So that is actually the watch that inspired the chocolate bar strap originally. That's what it was fitted to. And then of course you can see the Tropic style strap, which was around during the same time period, and they offer it in 19 millimeters. When I got this watch, I definitely looked around for different types of straps because although I do like the silicone waffle style strap that Seiko provides, I do feel like it is a little bit long for everyday use. Great for actual water sports use, but in terms of everyday, there is a little bit of extra overhang on kind of the tail end side that even when you're just storing it inside a watch box, it can kind of get in the way. So with that, I kind of went on that search, and of course it brought me back to Uncle Seiko, or Uncle Straps, because he just makes awesome stuff, and a lot of these sizes are thanks to accommodating for watches like this particular iconic Seiko, which is really, kind of the father of the the popular Marine Master line. So this does have that high beat caliber. It is an ever brilliant steel, but otherwise, it's still a Seiko diver, and it's just quite iconic and something that I really enjoy. So I'm gonna really enjoy also showcasing these two strap options from Uncle Straps. With that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get this piece in hand, and take a closer look. Okay guys, so here we have the chocolate bar, which is going to be really kind of the more period correct option, and you can see really beautifully done. These are actually both $39, which is fantastic, especially when you're like me and are used to paying a lot more for straps, whether it be for a genuine Tropic or a premium sailcloth. This is just very affordable, and very usable. And of course these are finished definitely, I would say, more to a functional finish. Like, this isn't, actually you compare it to the classics, it's gonna look amazing, but in terms of trying to make sure everything is just perfect and not seeing mold lines and stuff, I will say that it is just really well done, but it's not like they've eradicated any of that. This is not a luxury product by any means. This is meant to be a usable, worn product, and I think they do a great job of still giving you a nice amount of suppleness and pliability, while also making this still feel strong, and it's not something that will tear in the wrong situation. So this is the chocolate bar. This is actually probably the first time, apart from another SLA kind of Marine Master style watch that I reviewed not so long ago, that actually had Seiko's updated version of this design, which didn't have the same level of contrast, where you're getting the polished kind of chocolate bar pattern here, and then the more textured matted color. So that's something that really is special for this, and specific to, of course, the watch that inspired my SLA. So this is a really nice one, guys. I dig it. They also have this available, I believe, in an OD green size. Oh no, that's actually, they do an OD green for the Tropic. Sorry, these are all going to be black, but across a couple different sizes, and they even do have different lengths. So the 19 millimeter here is going to be 76 millimeters by 126, whereas the Tropic style strap here is going to be across the different widths, whether it's 19, 20, or 22. It's always going to be that same length combination of 78 millimeters and 128. And these are nice. And you guys know I really do enjoy the look of a good, Tropic style rubber strap, and some folks prefer these to some of the more premium ones because they do have a little bit more form to them and structure, so they're not quite as soft and supple, but by the same time it makes them feel a little bit stronger as well and sturdier. I really do enjoy that real super ultra supple nature of the genuine Tropic, but this one right here, again, it can also be somebody's preference, and I can see why. It's really nicely done there, and for the price, you really can't beat it, guys. About half the price of another type of Tropic. And of course, you do have the fact that he's done various iterations, various combinations in terms of the rubber compound that he's using, and he's really found a sweet spot, which I can appreciate. Now, getting to the strap that comes with on this SLA, which is quite a hefty piece here. It's made out of silicone, and it is a nice blue color, which I think is nice and kind of does have a playful nature to this watch, and it adds that. And I have been wearing it on a blue sailcloth, but I will say the black definitely makes it a lot more versatile by comparison. One thing that you'll notice here is how how basically the drilled lugs, right, where the lug holes are a little bit more inset. They're not quite at the outskirts of here. So what ends up happening is due to the thickness, thank goodness this is quite a thick piece. You can see it is quite bulky right here. So when it lays, it's going to still fill that space very nicely, which you won't always get if you don't have something that is that thick. You will see similarly though, you're going to get that same style where it's thicker here. It's going to give you more structure and more form and fill that gap very nicely. Same here for the Tropic, so that is nice. The strap that I currently had it on with the sailcloth, it didn't have as much thickness there, so ultimately when I would have it on the wrist, you would just see a little bit more of a gap and kind of the horns of the lugs where there was just a little bit more dead space there. So you can see this wears much nicer because of that. So it's going to align. You're going to see that bevel come around. This feels like it fills in a lot nicer just because of how thick it is, by comparison. And yeah, this isn't a bad strap. It's not like super dusty feeling or anything like that. Ultimately, it's just that extra tail length on there, even for me with a 7.5-inch wrist, which I would typically probably have it even one more. Yeah, probably one more tighter than this. And if we go ahead and tighten up the shot here so we don't get any kind of perspective distortion, you can see that extra length is just always kind of sticking out. But otherwise, this looks really beautiful. It does a good enough job of kind of matching without being too matchy. But of course, we're here to see how this will fare on these other straps. So let me see, do I have a strap tool handy? Because if so, I might just do it all on camera, or maybe I'll just cut away and save you guys some of the logistics here. So what we'll do is we'll cut away, I'll swap out, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, check that out. Really beautiful. Figure we'd start with a chocolate bar because that is kind of the more enthusiast choice here, really matching of course with that original 6159 aesthetic. Really beautiful, and you can see here as I let that drape down, it still fills the lug out fairly well, although it is going to be a little bit shorter than the OEM option as it curves down. But of course, you're not going to have it curving down when it's laying flat, and this thing just looks the business. It definitely has more of, I would say, an eccentricness to it, and an eccentricity, in terms of the styling and that chocolate bar. It's not for everyone, but it is kind of that connoisseur's choice. So let's go ahead and now take this. It is very thin on this underside, so it makes it very pliable. which is nice. And you can see the spaces here are not terribly far apart from each other, but not terribly close. They're kind of a nice median. And then another nice thing is you do get 2 separate keepers. So if you want to go ahead and get this on, you're going to want one keeper there towards the buckle, one towards the end, and you'll see it doesn't have a lot of that overhang. Of course, again, whoa, it looks huge, but then if I get my wrist down low, we can see here that it looks really quite lovely. So why don't we just tighten this up now and get that and breathe that in a little bit. Check that out. Very, very nice. Again, very different though, right? It's not something you're going to see every day on every wrist, but it's the right size. It's 19 millimeters. I didn't have to squish on a 20, on there. So it looks really, really clean. And then another thing is you're getting that dynamic play between kind of the glossy and the matte. And yeah, you're getting a little bit of that here, right? Satin and high polish. You're getting some nice, kind of matte sunray with high polished. That lacquered bezel just looks gorgeous. So this definitely has, again, more of a connoisseur's touch, almost a snake-like quality to that strap. It looks really good. But you guys know how much I love a Tropic strap, so it's only a matter of time before I get this one on. But what I'll do is, because now I tracked down just a little tool I could find here close to the desk, so I'll just pop this out now. One of the beauties of having, of course, drilled lugs is how easy it is to swap out straps. You can see that high polish is just taking on all of the hand sweat on me, but I have a feeling this is going to look really good. You guys know how much I love, again, Tropic style straps. And here, another nice feature is that, of course, Uncle Straps provides you with the right sized spring bar, so you could use it here. It has they do have the wider tips. Sorry, I'm just giving it a quick little wipe over here off camera. They do have the wider tips to fit these wider holes here, and you can see them because they are drilled. And then you're still getting a nice bit of thickness up by the top of the case, which is going to give you some nice structure, and then it tapers down quite thin to give you more pliability and more flexibility. But wow, that looks good. You guys know I'm a real sucker for that Tropic, that kind of basket weave pattern. Looks just so right at home. Very, very versatile. Now, while this is going to be a little bit more eccentric, this definitely has a lot of crossover appeal to where if you're not just some Seiko nut, right, like, you'll enjoy this type of strap. And again, this isn't just pairing it with this watch. These straps can go on any watch. I at one point I had one on my baby Alpinist and did a video. So these are very, very and you can see there's a nice bit of, springiness to them. They're not super hard, but they're not overly soft either. So they do hit a nice sweet spot. Very, very nice. And then again, in 3 different sizes, 19, 20, and 22, all $39, all black, but you can also get it in OD green for the 19 millimeter, specifically that width. But the black is so classic, so timeless, and you can see ultimately versatile here. I think I'll be on that, the fourth, let's say the fourth hole there. And if I can get this tucked in, there you have it. Nice under there, not sticking out again on this side, not a lot of extra there. And check that out, very nice. And now since you have this kind of upper portion, it does help kind of blend away some of that extra space, right, that you're gonna get with the way that the horns of these lugs are kind of coming out a little bit further, because again, the spring bar holes excuse me, themselves are actually far inset to the case. So check that out. Ooh, What do you guys think of that? That is quite handsome. You're still going to get a little bit of that overhang. You can see the ultimate portions of the, ooh, I don't know why, I'm just getting a little dry. But, excuse me. But this is just a really gorgeous combination. I dig it. I think the black, and then of course the matted features of that, you know, here you're going to get a little bit of that play, so you're going to get a little bit more pure black, and then the matte is going to appear lighter. Here you're going to be getting it in a bit more of a spectrum, whereas the checker pattern you're going to get some into the darker and then some of the lighter, so it plays in a little bit of a different way, and I would say that it's probably going to be a little bit more pleasing to more eyes. This is definitely just going to be a real classic and clean look. I dig this. Gosh, I don't know, will I leave it on this strap? Who knows? You guys know me, I can be very particular when it comes to kind of strap wear and everything like that. I'm a big bracelet enthusiast, but you know, recently I find myself specifically hunting out watches to pair with straps, and this was one of them where I just, you know, it's as cool as it would be if there was a bracelet option for this, there's a certain level of charm of, you know, a Seiko diver on a rubber strap, and I think it looks really great. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. What would be your choice? Would you go with the more period correct, you know, chocolate bar pattern, or the more versatile and still quite, you know, period appropriate Tropic style rubber strap? You know, for my own personal Seiko SLA 039, which is a modern 6159 recreation, I think both of these work just about perfectly, offering great, you know, that vintage period correct vibe to this particular reference. But again, these will look great on your squall divers, Certina, Tissot, whatever it is. And then of course all of the independents out there, you know, ranging from Traska to Baltic and Zelos and beyond. These types of straps will also be great options for the right case. So yeah, I like that these are versatile enough to be paired with any other kind of retro diver inside or outside of Seiko's diver lineup. So with that said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked the video, please do a like, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.